Bill Carlson, and CBS Celebrity Grand Marshal Steve Kannally from Dallas. And now, here's the 1989 St. Paul Winter Carnival Grand Day Parade.
You are looking live at Rice Park in the heart of downtown St. Paul, where in just about 20 minutes, the 103rd Winter Carnival Grand Day Parade will be passing by. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Colleen Needles.
And I'm Don Shelby, and welcome to WCCO Television's live coverage of this great wintertime event.
We are looking forward to hosting today's parade. I think we've got the best seat in the house, just to give you an idea of where we are. We're sitting in front of the St. Paul Public Library right here on East 4th Street between the Ordway and St. Paul Hotel.
Then that means right across the street, of course, then, is Rice Park. And we have set up a special grandstand area, as you can see here from this shot over our shoulders. Everybody wave right now. So this is just some of the spectators who decided to show up today. We're going to expect about 500 just in this grandstand area alone, and probably 100,000 along the parade route. Because of the terrific weather, we expect a real big turnout today.
Oh, it's great today. Well, we understand the parade is just about getting underway now. It is beginning at 2 p.m. at the corner of 6th and Minnesota. The route goes through the heart of downtown St. Paul and should pass by our Rice Park location in just about 20 minutes.
Joining us later to comment on the parade, as he has done these many years, will be Bill Carlson. And he has taken up a position right now over in Rice Park, and he has some word on all kinds of activities going on. Bill?
Thank you, Don. I'm in Rice Park, just across the other side of Rice Park from our broadcast position, where we'll be covering the parade in a few moments. This is the scene of the ice carving contest, a very prestigious event with ice carvers coming from all over the United States to compete in 5 different categories. Each winner in each of those categories will receive a $3,000 prize. I mentioned they came from all over the country. I would imagine that many of them didn't expect to meet these 40-degree temperatures this afternoon, which perhaps complicates the ice carving just a bit. A little later, we'll be meeting King Boreas and the Queen of the Snows, and we'll be meeting one of those ice carvers. Now back to you, Don and Colleen.
All right, thank you, Bill. There are going to be many dignitaries and celebrities riding in today's parade, and the very special one has stopped by to visit with us.
I'd like to say hi to the CBS Celebrity Grand Marshal, Steve Kannally of Dallas, Ray Krebs. Everybody is so happy to have you here, and even more recognizable, if that is possible, not only from your appearances on Dallas, but with all of those commercials for Cub Foods running on the Twin Cities.
Yeah, everybody's saying, scan this, Steve, and price this, Steve. But the Cub Food commercials have been real fun, and they asked me to come up and be the Grand Marshal in the parade, and it's a real pleasure to be here in St. Paul. And I'm going to take credit for this warm weather.
I was going to say.
Yeah. I brought it from Los Angeles yesterday.
Or Dallas, you should say.
Okay, from Dallas. I hope you're enjoying it.
Well, you probably heard all sorts of horror stories about how cold it can get here, so you probably were warned to be prepared for that, but we're happy to welcome you with some mild temperatures.
Thank you. In California, you know, with 300 days of sun, we look forward to winter, so.
Not only that, I think the people ought to know you're no stranger to snow. In fact, you're very, very familiar with it. In fact, you have your own celebrity and charity ski program that you're going to have going on out in L.A. and up in the mountains.
Yes, sir. Coming up in about 2 weeks will be the 6th annual Steve Kannally Invitational Celebrity Ski Classic, which is an event that I created to feature the fact that we actually have skiing in Southern California, 2 to 5 feet of snow at Bear Mountain Ski Area, where the event will be. And about 60 celebrities from the film community join me. 30 of them will be team captains. 210 racers will go down a giant slalom course, a dual course. And about 1,000 people will be there for this weekend event. Last year we raised $170,000.
Great.
We expect to raise over $200,000 that all goes to the March of Dimes.
Oh,
that's wonderful, Steve.
That's terrific.
Well, we know you have to head on up the street. You've got to get on a float. And,
yeah, I'm looking forward to being here for the rest of the afternoon. And so I was knighted today as a Prince of the Parade and Cub Food Clown.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
We'll see you later along the parade.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Steve Kannally, everyone, CBS Celebrity Grand Marshal, star of Dallas. Now, we'll be back with more continuing coverage of the Grand Day Parade at the St. Paul Winter Carnival in just a moment.
Around here, breakfast time is like the playoffs. My goal is getting him to eat right. His game plan's a little different. So I give him Wheaties. It's full of good nutrition, not sugar. He's sweet enough.
Wheaties, 100% whole wheat, naturally low in sugar. That's champion nutrition for the whole family.
Victory.
Hot, hot, hot! At Domino's Pizza, get a large cheese pizza for just $6.89. That's right, just $6.89. Isn't that amazing? Add your choice of toppings for just a little extra. Call now. Operators are standing by. This offer is so hot, it'll burn your table. Domino's Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
Call Domino's now for a large cheese pizza, just $6.89. And top this great deal off by adding your favorite toppings. For fast, free delivery, call Domino's Pizza today.
At Menards, we've gone stir-crazy with specials on carpeting. Our entire jute-back carpet selection is on sale now. Choose Stain Master carpets with their 5-year stain, 10-year residential wear warranty. Over 150 styles and colors on sale now at $11.99 to $18.99 per square yard. Plus, yard for yard will give you free Twilight carpet cushion with any jute-back purchase. Hurry in to save at Menards. Helping you build America's large brand, that's Menards.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to the Rice Park, St. Paul Library area as we continue our coverage of the King Boreas Grand Day Parade here on the That's how cold it is. No, it's actually warm. WCCO television. Very happy to be here, and we are, 20 minutes away from parade time?
A little less than that, perhaps. Do you know there are 125 units in today's parade, representing communities from all around the Minnesota and from surrounding states. Now, the parade lineup includes this: 12 marching bands, 45 floats, 25 specialty units, 20 dignitaries and celebrities, and 21 people representing the Winter Carnival royalty.
2 members of the Winter Carnival royalty family, the newly crowned King Boreas and the Queen of the Snows. Bill Carlson is with them right now in Rice Park. Bill?
The brand new royalty for the great St. Paul almost Winter Carnival Parade this year. Quite a festival. King Boreas the 53rd?
Yes, Dick Barbary from the Royal House of Ultimap International.
Okay, now you knew you were going to be crowned ahead of time, but the Queen of the Snows didn't.
No, I didn't. My name is Catherine Arco, and my sponsor was Edina Realty.
Aha, it's an exciting time, huh?
Oh, very exciting. I can't believe it's all happening. It's been a whirlwind so far. It's just wonderful.
Have you lived in the St. Paul area for a long time?
Oh, yes, I've been here for about 20 years, so most of my life, yeah.
So you remember carnivals after carnivals?
Yeah.
King Boreas, it does involve a lot of work and a lot of effort, and very often the King Boreases are involved for a considerable period of time.
Oh, yes, our commitment will run for the duration of the year. We will start this event here, and we don't end until next year at this time. And in the meantime, we make about 350 stops along the ways at every small festival, from sauerkraut days to pea soup days to corn on the curb days to anything else that exists in the community.
It creates a cohesiveness around the state, doesn't it, for that kind of effort?
That it does. As a matter of fact, we just left the mayor's brunch where all of the visiting mayors from the surrounding domains were there, and that does create a nice cohesiveness to bring them to our fair city.
Okay. Do you know of anything unusual this year? It's going to be a busy carnival, I know, and you're going to be involved in it. You're looking forward to one particular event?
I guess not any one particular event. There's so much that's going to be happening, and it's so hard to look at the schedule and know what's going on. We have quite a full schedule. I'm just excited about it all.
I think the water skiing event, given this weather, is going to be great.
Well, they do call me the mighty monarch of ice and snow. I'm not doing my job. Vulcan is supreme at the moment, but we shall prevail. We shall prevail.
Okay, we must allow them to leave because they're going to be in the parade in just a few moments. King Boreas, Queen of the Snows, thank you very much for gracing our presence. Don and Colleen?
Come see the parade.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing them in today's parade and throughout the year.
You bet.
As they're going about their duties. Now, there are 5 new units in today's parade that WCCO TV has added to this year's Grand Day Parade. And all of these units have a very creative winter theme about them.
Exactly, and we have Beth Obermeyer to thank for that. She is the special events director for the parade, and we had a chance to see some of these groups practicing. And here's a preview of what you can expect to see along the route.
You may recall the dance group Split Level from this summer's Aquatennial Parade. Well, they're back to dance in the streets again, and this time, dance leader Kirk Johnson explains that they've taken things a step further by recording a special song for the Winter Carnival Parade.
We produced a hot song for a hot group in the wintertime. to fool everybody, to make it seem it's hot, but it's really cold. So it's going to be hot.
According to Damon Danielson, the group has figured out how to stay warm during today's parade.
Boogie, dance. Just move your feet, move around, keep moving.
This group is ready to give it their all because indeed they are.
I would like you guys to go get your ropes and then get on your dots and ready to practice for the parade.
26 students from Hale School of Minneapolis make up the special rope power team, which will perform during today's parade. Their jump roping routine was choreographed by gym teachers Sarah Von Volkenberg and Sarah O'Brien.
Boys and girls, our jump ropes aren't going to be the ropes you're using today. They're being specially designed to look like jumper cables.
These students have practiced diligently for the parade and feel honored to be a part of the unit.
I think it's going to be fun. I like everything about it.
But even with all the excitement, some are still a bit nervous about their performance.
Well, I think it's kind of going to be, if I mess up, I think it's kind of going to be embarrassing. It's kind of going to be fun, too.
For the equipment preparation for the St. Paul Winter Carnival Parade, a few of us have taken our shovels and our lawnmowers down to have them re-waxed. A couple of them had the spring tune-ups on early this year.
Well, basically, my machine is always ready. Actually, I used to race the thing. It's got a professional chassis, and it's been Z-barded, and I've even had the fabric protection put on.
These crazy North Minneapolis neighbors, known in the summer as the Precision Lawnmower Brigade, have added a few new items in order to form the Precision Snow Plowing team for today's parade.
I think it's great, you know, if we could get some colder weather. We work better when we have to have a lot of clothing on. We've been having chalk talks once a week all through the fall and through the winter.
This zany unit has worked hard to develop their routine, and they hope that some of their love of cold will rub off on other Minnesotans.
Winter isn't just to hole up in your house. It's time to maybe loosen up your brain a little bit and have some fun in the winter.
Okay, everybody, feet together.
More than 100 dancers from Sue Anderson's Stage Door Dance School are prepared to dance their way through the Grand Day Parade.
They wanted our group to be a part of the Winter Carnival, which is something a little different than what we're used to. They told us we need a special gimmick. We normally use pom-poms, and it's kind of a jazz-type pom-pom group. So the group is actually performing with balls, and they'll be painted white. Gives a wintry effect.
When they first asked me to march in the parade, I was really excited, and I thought it would be really neat because I've always gone to the St. Paul Winter Carnival Grand Day Parade, and I thought it was really neat, and I always thought it would be fun to finally be in it.
This group of dancers will tell you that it not only takes practice and perseverance to create a perfect performance, it also takes...
That should give you some idea of one of the great endearing qualities of this particular parade and the whole St. Paul Winter Carnival, and that is just never take yourself too darn seriously, and that's one of the big fun things about this.
Well, if you can't have fun with winter, what good is it?
Exactly right. I think that's what they have to do. I mean, smile, grin, and bear it. Get through it.
And these folks are not going to be cold during this parade as well. We should tell you also we're going to have a snowplow brigade coming along as we begin the Grand Day Parade. We're going to be right back, though, so please stay with us.
It's 125 trains that I have to announce. I was coughing my brains out. So I sent Richie to the store. He brought me this kid's cough syrup.
Not all cough medicines work the same.
I said, look, this is not going to work. I need something strong like codeine. He came back with this fixed Formula 44.
Today's Formula 44, as effective as codeine but non-narcotic. It starts to work the instant you swallow.
Formula 44 blew my cough away.
Vicks Formula 44, so effective, it starts working the instant you swallow.
My cough was history.
Come home to where the savings are.
You'll find them now during the home improvement sale at Mills Fleet Farm.
Shop Fleet Farm for all your home improvement needs.
And things to keep you looking good, too. Save now on the classic great fit of Lee ESP poly cotton stretch jeans. Missy size is only $19.99. Women's size is just $22.99.
And Lee men's pre-wash straight leg or bootcut jeans made of 100% cotton denim are only $16.99. So stock up now on special bargains for yourself.
And for your home.
It's all on sale now during the home improvement sale at Mills Fleet Farm.
These days, who has time to share? Time to share with people. Time to share with the community. Hi, I'm Don Shelby.
And I'm Colleen Needles. Over the next few months on news specials, programs, and even commercials, WCCO TV will feature people who have taken time to share.
We'll also show you how a little good news like this can make a big difference in our community and to all of us.
Join Channel 4 as we take time to share.
When you take the time to share.
Crowds are getting ready. They're anticipating the arrival in about 6 minutes of the first of the parade units to start the Grand Day Parade. And we'd like to welcome you back to our pre-parade coverage.
There they are.
WCCO TV's live parade coverage, and those are some of the spectators.
That's right. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the annual ice carving contest is going on just across the street from here over at Rice Park, and that's where Bill Carlson is right now. Let's check in with him to see how things are going. Bill?
Don and Colleen, some of the ice carvers have suggested that if we're going to expect weather like this, we'll have to dome Rice Park next year and refrigerate it. You're coming from San Diego, right?
That's right.
Your name is?
Mark Donovan.
And you do this for a living or something similar to this?
I'm a chef for the Marriott Corporation, and I do this on the side. I also have a business, but you know, mostly I started out in the hotel doing it, and it's turned into competition for me.
I guess it's appropriate, being from San Diego, that you're creating sailboats this year.
Yeah, it is kind of, you know, the thing that's going on there. You know, that's been going on there is going to go on again. You know, the America's Cup. So I thought, you know, it'd be an appropriate title and action.
Okay, the judging takes place at 3 o'clock this afternoon. As you can see, Mark is doing a very intricate kind of ice carving, and as are many other people. So we're going to throw it back to you, Don and Colleen, but there's a lot of activity still taking place here.
One of the things we're going to be doing, Bill, of course, is going to try to find out from Mears Park how that big dragon carving is going on down there. We don't know because the temperature is expected to reach 42 degrees out here in St. Paul, which has to be one of the warmest of all of the Winter Carnival parade temperatures on parade day.
It's the warmest I can remember.
Yeah. Now, one of the things we also want to talk about is that this thing lasts for 10 full days. It's not just a one-day event. So after the parade, that means there's still a lot of time to come over to St. Paul and enjoy things.
Right now, in fact, perhaps you should get your calendars out because we're going to go through what's on the agenda this year for the 1989 Winter Carnival. Come and join fellow cross-country skiers in the King Boreas cross-country ski race. This fun winter race will be held at Lake Phelan Golf Course beginning at noon on Sunday, January 29th. Over 2,000 cats from the United States and Canada will be vying for royal titles during the Saintly City Cat Show. The menagerie of cats will try purring their way into your hearts today, January 28th until 4 p.m., and tomorrow, January 29th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Roy Wilkins Auditorium. If you love to golf anytime, anywhere, then why not try the annual Golf in the Snow tournament? This zany winter event takes place Sunday, January 29th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Lost Spur Country Club. Glare ice, studded tires, world-class drivers, and speeds reaching 100 miles per hour provide thrills and chills as the sport of car racing takes to the ice. You can watch this wild winter sport today until 3 p.m. and tomorrow, January 29th from 10 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. on Lake Phelan. Zoom, bump, and slide down the hills of Echobakken in Scandia, Minnesota, where you can enjoy the sport of snow tubing, 11 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. from now till February 4th. Antique sleighs and smaller cutters pulled by majestic animals will parade on Saturday, February 4th through Como Park and Sunday, February 5th through Phelan Park. The parades take place from 1 to 3 p.m. both days. So this is just the beginning of what promises to be a fun-filled several weeks here
and a
as
great
we celebrate
family
winter.
event. Yeah, and you know, that's something that newcomers to the Twin Cities area, and shall we say people who actually live in Minneapolis or the other environs that we should only mention maybe one or two more times during out this entire broadcast, they should come to St. Paul. Not only get to know what St. Paul is all about, but find out how the people in St. Paul and the people who are part of this carnival have found a way to enjoy and be enthusiastic about what usually is not a terribly pleasant time of year, but these people have certainly found a way to feel great about it. Then our government reporter, Pat Kessler, there in a blue jean jacket.
Well, you know, that's what's so wonderful about this event, is that so many people from the community come out and get involved, whether it be 40 degrees out or 40 below out. You can always expect a big crowd here. That's wonderful.
You bet. So what we want to do is just take this time right before the parade begins to arrive, is to remind everybody who's out there listening to us right now that if you've got a few minutes over the next week, give a call over to the St. Paul Winter Carnival office and find out what kind of things you can take part in, and come over and enjoy. And bring the kids along.
Right, and we're going to be right back with the beginning of the 1989 St. Paul Winter Carnival Grand Day Parade. Please stay with us.
Paint up a storm with Dutch Boy paints from Menards Winter Sale. Save on Dutch Boy Confident and Dirt Fighter interior paint in flat, satin, or semi-gloss finish. Freshen up with white wall and ceiling paint in a big 2-gallon pail, now just $9.99. Or save on Dirt Fighter with a rich satin finish and 10-year guarantee. On sale now for just $10.88 per gallon. That's cool savings during Menards Winter Sale.
It's 125 trains that I have to announce. I was coughing my brains out. So I sent Richie to the store. He brought me this kids' cough syrup.
Not all cough medicines work the same.
I said, look, this is not going to work. I need something strong like codeine. He came back with this fixed Formula 44.
Today's Formula 44, as effective as codeine but non-narcotic. It starts to work the instant you swallow.
Formula 44 blew my cough away.
Vicks Formula 44, so effective, it starts working the instant you swallow.
My cough was history.
Shredded wheat?
I need my nutrition.
Well, you'll need 12 boxes to equal the vitamin and mineral nutrition in just one box of Total.
What do you eat all this with? A shovel?
Total, one bowl, 100%. That's more nutrition than any other cereal.
That's more like it. One box, one bowl, one spoon.
If it's whole wheat Total, it's Total nutrition. And for a better cornflake, try Total Cornflakes. Better tasting and twice the nutrition of Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Welcome back to our coverage. Actually, just a continuation of pre-parade coverage here of the St. Paul Winter Carnival King Boreas Grand Day Parade. And it's important that we talk about King Boreas here because we almost have to remind people in St. Paul that it's winter time because I think as he said, Vulcan is reigning supreme today with temperatures in the 40s. We welcome back Bill Carlson across the street at Rice Park, and this is how many in a row you've done of these things,
my
Bill?
God, on a 20-some, I guess, at least.
You've lost count,
King Boreas just said to me, I can only hope that it doesn't rain on our rain.
That's true.
It's interesting. I just saw the news before I left home that Alaska is having an unusually cold snap. Temperatures as low as 74 degrees below zero this morning with wind chills of 115 below. Well, nothing like that here today. 40 degrees, a wonderful day, except for the ice carvers. They are really having a bad time.
That's too bad.
It really is. I was just walking among them over there, and they're working and trying to get all of this intricate kinds of things done, and having a terrible time doing it.
Is there anything that can be done for an occurrence like that? Can they move them inside to meat lockers or into deep freezes to hold them?
I think what we're going to do is dome the park next year and refrigerate it.
Okay. Not a bad idea. Would that be some reputation for St. Paul? In the Winter Carnival, they had to ship in cold.
Well, of course, last night they crowned the Queen of the Snows, and they chose her from among many, many candidates, and we're going to meet a few of them right now.
Terrific.
Hi, I'm Mary Lee Bell, and I'm sponsored by 3M Company.
And I'm Pamela Cahoon, and I'm sponsored by Empty Pockets and Company.
Hi, I'm Laura K. Irwin, and I'm sponsored by the Rice Street Festival.
And I'm Anne-Marie Jungworth, and I'm sponsored by Domino's Pizza.
We want to ask Bill, because Bill gives us better perspective than just anyone that we can find outside the mayor, his own self of St. Paul. What started this whole extravaganza? We've heard the history of the Aquatennial over and over, but about the St. Paul Winter Carnival.
Well, it began as a response to articles in the Eastern press 103 years ago, believe it or not, calling this part of the country kind of a place where no one would want to go this time of year, wondering why anyone would even want to live here this time of year. And so it was determined by the city fathers at that time, let's show them what winter can be if you put your mind to it. As we all know, you can survive anything if you put your mind to it, and you can turn it into something very positive, as they did 103 years ago.
Wow.
I was looking through, and we'll be mentioning it as we go through the parade today, looking through all the number of units here. So many things happened about that time. It must have been, St. Paul must have been, even at that time, a very vital and growing city, because many units in the parade today have a history dating back to 103 years.
Wow. And just imagine all that has happened, though, in the 103 years that this, this carnival has been in existence. All the things that have been going on through our history.
You know, one of the things that that surprised me when they began building the huge ice castle 3 years ago, they found all the old historical photographs of the previous great ice castles, and some of those were giant, magnificent structures that took months and months to construct.
I remember as a kid, and a very young kid, I must tell you, Colleen, just before World War II, it must have been 38 or 39, I was living in St. Paul. I grew up in St. Paul. My parents took me to Como Park, where there was one of these giant ice castles, and folks were invited to go into it. As I recall, they had a post office in there, and you could go and mail letters with the St. Paul Winter Carnival Ice Palace stamp on them. So it's quite a history, and a lot of things have happened. Incidentally, I just talked to King Boreas the 53rd. Now, how does that stack up with 103 years? The mythology was not carried out all the time, and it is not 103 consecutive years. There were some slow periods and some years when they didn't even have a winter carnival, and then in the late 30s came back into it with a vengeance, and ever since then it's been a very, very organized effort.
And it is a wonderful way to spread the goodwill and the message and the public spiritedness of St. Paul, because these people, as you pointed out when you interviewed them, will have to travel all around the country. This is not part-time work for these people. They travel all over the country representing the city of St. Paul and this carnival.
As you will see, there are many visiting queens here, Hopkins Raspberry Festival, all kinds of things. And it is a day of a wonderful kind of celebration. As you can hear, the parade is approaching us now because of some record crowds today, obviously a result of our very moderate weather. The parade is a little slower than it has been in previous years, so it has taken a little longer to get to us than we expected it to.
Well, you know, that's great news, though, because I think a lot of people who've been perhaps scared away by the cold temperatures, particularly from bringing their children to this event in years past, are probably out here today and will probably be here year after year as a result of that, once they get a taste of this parade.
What do you think a record crowd would be? 100,000 plus in here?
I would suspect. As a matter of fact, we have our producers calling the St. Paul Police Department right now to see if they can give us any kind of an estimate, because of course they've been doing this for a long time and are particularly good at making such estimates. But I would suspect, if it's anything along the entire parade route the way it appears to be right here at our vantage point, it must be in the area of 100,000 or so. And there are some that haven't been able to wait for the beginning of the parade, as you can see.
This little one, I think he's just resting up, or she's just resting up for the beginning.
Excitement was just too much.
And waiting for the temperature to fall, by the way, too, it appears. Is staying bundled up and as snug as it possibly can be. The sound that you hear is the sound of that the St. Paul Police Escort Unit, which heads up all of the parades. And they are actually sort of the street sweeper gang. They precede the parade route and turn on their sirens, make sure that people are off the curb and backed off just a little bit. They're doing it in a kindly way and in a way of celebration. But in fact, they do serve a purpose here, and they've been doing this year after year after year.
They sure grab your attention, don't they?
Yeah. That characteristic light blue police car of the St. Paul Police Department. Following it, of course, is another traditional part of the St. Paul Winter Carnival, the Black Mariah. This particular one, Black Mariah, was a reference that many used to refer to paddy wagons, which was also another reference. This particular one was built in 1897.
That actually did service, did it not? Used to run prisoners back and forth from downtown out to the
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 Como
holding
Park
pen. Yeah, the workhouse at Como Park.
That's what it did. It's serving quite a different function these days, as you can see.
And just in case the St. Paul police didn't get everybody's attention, here comes the Minnesota Highway Patrol, as they do every year, helping
Attending
out.
to the stragglers and the speeders who might be along the parade route.
No speeding today in this parade, I think.
You know, you were talking about the wonderful atmosphere it creates and the involvement of the entire community, not just the city of St. Paul, but the entire community. I was talking with King Boreas a few moments ago about the wonderful spirit of ecumenism that has developed over the years. When I was a young lad growing up in St. Paul, the competitiveness had kind of a raw edge to it.
Did have an edge.
Not anymore, and I think Highway 94 had as much as anything to do with that, because we can go back and forth between the two cities so much more easily now. So the access has created a warmer feeling.
Just think what is going to happen if they develop the rail transit along the University Avenue line. It'll all become one huge city with two different names.
We just saw the 1986 club carrying the St. Paul Winter Carnival Grande Parade banner. This club has been together since January of 1886.
Not the same individuals we might have had.
My goodness. But they celebrate the historical origins of the Winter Carnival and work to promote and support it.
Well, there you get the figure of 103 years then.
Right, there is a very proud tradition here, not only of the Winter Carnival, but the entire city of St. Paul. I came into the city on what used to be called West 7th Street when I was growing up in St. Paul. It's now called the Old Fort Road.
Yes.
In an attempt to reach back into our rather spectacular history. And as you go along there, you see all of the older buildings, many of them built before the turn of the century, that have been reconditioned, refurbished. There's kind of a new sense of pride in our history.
You know what we ought to mention to the home viewers right now is that this is being broadcast in stereo. And the way we have set up our microphones on the parade route this time is to the left and to the right of the parade route on a straight line. So that means that if a band were to pass beneath our microphones, the sound coming out of your receiver would have the sound of the, say, trumpets on the left side of the band coming out of the left side of the speaker, and the sound of the trombones and drums and tubas on the right side coming out of your right side speaker. So adjust your stereo receiver that way and sit back and enjoy the parade.
We should also mention that coming up right now is the first of 5 specialty units that WCCO TV has brought in for the parade, and this is the Mankato State University Band.
First time for these people, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. They boast about 120 members. They have performed at Minnesota Vikings games during halftime in 1987 and 88.
Called the Maverick Marching Machine, led by Dr. Stuart Ross.
There's some of the Mavericks right now.
And we understand they're going to be playing Sleigh Ride in honor of the snowplows that are going to be following right behind them.
As we will often do throughout this afternoon, as soon as the bands move within range of our microphones, we'll be quiet so you can enjoy the music along with us. So let's do that right now for the Mankato State University Band. doing their best to create a snowy and wintry atmosphere for us.
And we need a little special effects help in order to do that, by the way. Most of that snow has melted right off everything in the surrounding area. That song, Sleigh Ride, as Bill pointed out, is supposed to sort of ring in this next, and I don't think you can call this a float.
No, this is a snowplow.
Actually, several of them.
As you can see, our camera is about to be plowed out of the way.
But these are actual snowplows. They've got them all sparkly and shiny. They've painted them. If you've noticed, there's some tinsel icicles hanging off of them. These are the men and women who drive these plows, and they've got some of their family members up in the cab with them. We can tell you exactly what those things are. They are really state-of-the-art snowplows.
Look at that one. That first one is interesting. Now what?
It's a 10-ton four-wheel V-plow, as I understand. Well, now let's see. Which one is? I'm not expert enough to tell which one is which.
The first one was the V-plow, and it can clear off a path, knocking the snow to either side, and that's the first one that will come down. And then the big trucks and the graders like this will come in and pick up the remaining snow and put it on the back of dump trucks, and so it'll be carted away.
This is one of the units which WCCO television has organized to put a little life in the spread. As a matter of fact, Steve Kannally was saying to me a few moments ago, this is what I expected when I came here today.
Well, see, all we really need to know about snowplows is where not to park. That's all we really need to know, so these folks can do their job. And where would we be without them?
Can you imagine the massive power underneath the hoods of those big trucks, though? Capability of not only pulling those big, heavy trucks around, but pushing tons and tons of snow in front of it.
And here comes the American Legion marching with massed colors for the 16th consecutive year here in the Winter Carnival Parade.
As you will see in just a moment, in the center of this group is a POW flag. It's being carried by Tom Bailey of Rosetown Memorial Post of Roseville. The flag represents POW and MIAs from all wars, including 120 from Korea and 43 from Southeast Asia. That's right in the center of that massed flag collection.
Now they are, this is made up of volunteer members of the American Legion. Those folks live in the 7-county metro area.
4th and 5th District American Legion members involved here.
That's a pretty sight, isn't it? All those flags coming down the street.
It's very impressive. You know, it's exciting and sobering all at the same time.
Yes, it is, and you can tell that it has that same sort of effect on the crowd and the spectators, all of them standing, many of them with their hands over their hearts, some at attention, some in salutes, but all of them paying their respects to the American flag.
And knowing, of course, that as American Legion members, these folks have served their country in many times of need down through the years, and of course those who are no longer with us because we don't know their whereabouts, represented by the POW MIA flag. Another extension of a color guard forming for us here, the American Legion Auxiliary represented here.
And they too carrying a POW MIA flag.
Yes, indeed. You're not out of our minds, it says in the flag.
And here come some folks who wonder what this Winter Carnival is really all about. They were promised cold temperatures.
We've been handed a bum steer, I think. We've been told that we could come here and carve some ice into beautiful, beautiful sculptures.
They have created a 50-foot dragon of ice down in Mears Park, although it is suffering a bit from this warm weather. But they come from Harbin, China. They were seen in a March 1988 National Geographic. Well, we have a break in the parade. We're going to take advantage of that break to bring you a couple of messages. We'll be right back.
You never know where some water softeners come from. In many cases, it's the same water softener from parts unknown. Only the price is higher. And when it comes to service, well, that's another story. Isn't it good to know that your local Culligan man is a trained water specialist, as close as your telephone, with sales and service, representing the world leader in water conditioning for over 50 years, with a variety of products from Northbrook, Illinois, not parts unknown. Call your Culligan man At no cost or obligation, he'll analyze your home's water. Then, if you decide to purchase or rent any Culligan unit, basic installation is just $10. Learn the advantages that only Culligan offers your family over the questionable origin, price, and service of those water softeners from parts unknown. Call on the experience, quality, and reliable service of Culligan. Call your Culligan man now.
Hot, hot, hot! At Domino's Pizza, get a large cheese pizza for just $6.89. That's right, just $6.89. Isn't that amazing? Add your choice of toppings for just a little extra. Call now. Operators are standing by. This offer is so hot, it'll burn your table. Domino's Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
Call Domino's now for a large cheese pizza, just $6.89. And top this great deal off by adding your favorite toppings. For fast, free delivery, call Domino's Pizza today.
We're back at the 1989 Grand Day Parade at the St. Paul Winter Carnival. Look at this traditional portion of the carnival. St. Paul Athletic Club.
This is a crowd favorite here.
Okay, now as soon as they get up next to us, Colleen is going to try that, right?
Yeah, oh, you betcha. I think
we'll see if we can encourage them to try it again.
They'd have a hole in their blanket.
Can we do it one more time?
Do it one more time right here if you can.
No,
oh, they're waving.
Yeah. They're busy. They're busy.
They're going to try it again. It looks like they're going to set it up.
Okay, they're doing it for us. Incidentally, Colleen, we were just discussing this supposedly is an Alaskan hunting ritual, right?
Well, that's what this says. Now, it says long ago, bouncing a man on a blanket was part of the hunting ritual in Alaska. They said when the snow line was too high to see beyond it, that a group of hunters would bounce one man high on a blanket so that he could see what lied ahead. Now, do you buy that?
I'm not sure. But
wow.
Rather than a man, they have chosen three young ladies, yes. Karen Foy, Chris Grover, and Kim McMahon. They are the ones who are being tossed the entire parade route.
Oh, they look like they're having a good time.
I'd like to thank them for taking time to do one extra. They'll probably do about 700 of those things by the time they finish this parade route, and I can imagine their arms are going to get a bit tired.
That's
Not
right.
to mention the girls' legs, yes. I would presume.
The Osmond Temple Shrine float, their color guard, their drum and bugle corps, their entire operation within the range of our cameras right now.
The shrine has a lot of people to choose from out here, Colleen. 3,500 members right here in the state.
And they
and all around the country. How many hospitals they have? They must.
It says 19 children's hospitals, 3 burn centers around the country.
And the 3,500 members, Don, are just at the Osmond Shrine, which is in St. Paul. Then there's the Zura Shrine in Minneapolis. And
exactly.
Exactly.
I misstated myself. You're exactly right.
It's a nice little maneuver they're doing for us. Last fellow there, they have an elephant with a fez too. They're very selective on whom they accept, but he kind of bulled his way in.
He was keeping time. As you alluded to, Colleen, they do have 19 children's hospitals and 3 burn centers around the country. It is a social organization, but they are very, very much involved in every community in which they are represented. And then also, they all get together to support these fine hospitals that have done so much exceptional work.
Now, here are some of the important figures in the Osmond Shrine. You saw the one with the fez that said potentate. That's Fred Keller. He's the 1989 potentate for the Osmond Shrine. There are the Rabbans, too. I think they have, there's a divan. They have all kinds of interesting names. A high priest, Oriental guide, recorder. I'll give you some names. The chief Rabban is Marvin Edelstein. The assistant is Harry Mickelson. The high priest, or the prophet as he is sometimes known, is Dennis Andrasek. The Oriental guide is David Hawkins. The recorder this year is Larry Stahl. Sitting on there is Robbie Newhouse, an outpatient, one of the recipients of all of the good work at the shrine.
The burn centers that they have established is a relatively new but very sophisticated kind of medical work that they've gotten into in the last several years. Now, there are going to be several units passing by. We don't have notes on all of them, so we'll kind of be giving you what we understand of them, but as we said, it's a social organization, and they have all different sorts of efforts.
This is the Rudy Valley Memorial barge coming by here. I'm just kidding. Maybe we can hear what they're singing. They're singing a cheer to themselves.
Yeah. Whatever it is, they're happy about it. Yeah. And of course, the Shrine Clown Club is a most appropriate organization for them to be involved in, since they do have so much to do with the children's hospitals. This Shrine Clown Club spends a considerable amount of time not only at the children's hospitals, but also at senior citizen centers and festivals such as this, promoting the positive kind of attitudes.
Look at the faces on, we can see, and perhaps, yeah, that's what I wanted you to see, the faces on the children. As soon as these clowns came by from the Osmond Shrine, rapt attention was the order of the day for these kids.
It's interesting what a little clown makeup can do
exactly
to both
right.
the person in the makeup and the person who is receiving the impression.
I have talked to some people who have put on that clown makeup, and they say all inhibitions go away when you put that makeup on, and you become another sort of person.
And you gain energy from the kids' response to you.
Well, if you want to have a good time at any kind of event, go with a child and watch it through his or her eyes, and that's the way to see an event. This fellow has quite a few folks in his automobile with him.
Pulled by a dune buggy he has there.
Some friends from Sesame Street along as well.
Not an awful lot of dunes in Minnesota, so they use it where they can.
Here we go, here we go.
The fellow's hair matches our jackets here today, doesn't it?
Well, we got Big Bird and Bert and Ernie, Frosty the Snowman.
You obviously have children, Don. You know all these folks by first name.
They are household names.
That's right.
It's interesting how many sets of clown makeup kind of are a takeoff from Emmett Kelly, a man who, of course, was so dominant and created this very sad clown, and the sadness and the happiness all is embodied in one package.
Great Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey clown.
Oh, yes.
I think his son then later took over with the same sad character.
Right, followed in his father's footsteps.
Freddie.
Lots of things being handed out, incidentally. Along the way, I received a coin from King Boreas, a reminder of his reign, and many people do hand out special coins along the way. King Boreas, of course, is not only involved with the Winter Carnival, but he is the president and CEO, I believe, of Ultimap Corporation. And so the coins of his realm are being handed out along the way.
From the proud house of Ultimap.
Right. It's a small world after all, says the Calliope passing us by. Boy, if Calliope doesn't say circuses, clowns, and whatever, I don't know what instrument does. Here's an Osmond horse unit at the shrine units are very often involved not only with horse units but with motorcycle units, and of course at the Aquatennial we often see those motorcycle units. They could be a little treacherous here in the Winter Carnival time.
Speaking of that Western atmosphere, somewhere along this parade route, and we find it only fair to warn you at this point, you're probably going to hear a great deal of gunfire.
Yes.
The Prince of the West Wind generally arrives about halfway through this parade, and they don't arrive quietly nor serenely. Who's this coming behind the horses?
Boy, that's kind of a wild...
right there, you're seeing the Osmond Caballeros, but right behind them. Isn't that a great scene? Look at the landmark center right there. This is what you were referring to.
There they are.
Mm-hmm.
The bunch of hooligans, that's the crew from Channel 4, Bud Kraling.
I don't recognize him with a hat on.
Yeah.
He's ridden in more Winter Carnival parades than I have emceed. Now, that's a lot of them.
There's Sylvia Gambardella. This is her first Winter Carnival.
Mike Strand there.
Mike Strand, Caroline Lowe. Looks like a lot of...
Tom Hanneman.
Channel 4 children there.
Yep.
His children
Adam,
are there.
Adam and Courtney Hanneman.
That's a big kick.
What a thrill to ride in a parade.
Yeah.
He's going to take charge.
Yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. He's saying, move it along, move it along.
He has a black belt in parades, I understand, right?
He does.
And he's taking credit for this wonderful weather we're having today, thanks to Bud. Hi, guys.
Incidentally, those 4 Belgian horses that were pulling the Channel 4 group come from Jack Borchter of Waseca.
Oh, here comes the unit that Don was telling us about earlier called Split Level. It is sponsored by WCCO TV and Earth's Beauty Supply.
You're going to love these people. Now, if you haven't seen these people before, and you probably have had an opportunity, if you've seen anything that Prince has done on video, if you've seen Purple Rain, or if you've seen any of the other videos, he's done a couple of others, Madhouse and Glam Slam.
Music is being played out of an '87 Mercedes, incidentally, winner of the Car Audio Nationals last year in Chicago. I guess they're within microphone range right now. Let's see and hear their scene. So new weight control regimen they have. They burn up 2,300 calories per block.
Yes, this is a high impact aerobics here.
Oh, they're terrific. Now Split Level, the name of the group, can be seen in area night spots dancing and performing on keyboard and drums.
I want to mention, this is a song, as I said in the piece that you saw in the pre-parade program, the music that they're working with is one that they invented themselves, and the crowd loves them, as you can hear. That song's called Winter Carnival. It's hot. So is Split Level.
They're wearing jackets that say contagious fashions on the back of them. There's a lot of contagion in that whole operation.
And there we see.
Some years, it's been an ordeal. Parade watchers' wool caps and gloves only meager protection from the bite of winter. This year, plenty of people watched bareheaded, and there was plenty to see. The plows were just part of the entertainment, like the clowns and the beauty queens. The only healthy-looking snowman was the cardboard kind. The Vulcans were a little out of their element with the temperature so high, but they were good sports about it.
It's the best crowd. The people are enjoying it. The people are great.
The ice carvers looked happy, though a few blocks away, their artwork was turning to water. And there wasn't any wind, a condition unheard of during the annual parade. That fact alone should keep this a warm memory, even if next year's Winter Carnival drops back into the icebox.
Longed to be here for many years.
Now you've finally done it.
Finally. It's great. It's great. It's real fun.
This is the first time I ever seen real life horses running around in the streets and stuff, coming past.
I like the cold winter weather.
So it seemed like spring, and Winter Carnival showed a kinder, gentler side. And everybody might have been wondering what February is going to do. With Lloyd Gottschalk, Jim Newman, WCCO Television News, St. Paul.
Even though the heat put a dent in the ice sculpting, it didn't stop the carvers from creating. Carvers took on 400-pound blocks of ice to try to turn them into something recognizable. 65 people competed in citizen and professional categories at Rice Park. Well, it was a competition you had to hear at Northrop Auditorium today.
Auditions for the Metropolitan Opera, and we'll have that story next.
Miss Minnesota was Gretchen Carlson.
Yes.
This is Susan Johnson, another Scandinavian who took over for Gretchen when Gretchen became Miss America. It's interesting, I have so many friends in California who, when they heard that Gretchen Carlson from Minnesota became Miss America, assumed that it was my daughter instantly.
Yeah.
I said, we have so many Carlsons in Minnesota, you just can't make that kind of assumption.
There were none out there that thought it was your granddaughter?
Not just a minute.
Okay, here comes the float winning the King Boreas Award. This year it comes from General Foods, as if you couldn't already tell. If you can see there's Sugar Bear and some of the mini Post cereals.
That's a Smurf there, isn't it?
Sure is.
Sure is.
All the crispy critters there. Oh, that makes me hungry for sardines and ketchup. Just looking at that big bowl of crispy critters.
Yes.
Favorite breakfast.
Sardines and ketchup?
Yeah, with some Sugar Crisp on top of it.
I take the Sugar Crisp.
Yeah,
You
get
can
your
hold
day
the
started.
sardines.
The Webster Wild River Boys.
This is called a slab mobile.
Had to call it something.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you've noticed how many skunks that they've killed along this parade route already, but it must be that due to the warming weather, those things have come out of hibernation.
Right.
But they're all over the parade route.
Thank goodness we have these
you
guys
almost
around
got
the
one in
handle.
your lap there, Don.
They seem to have plenty because
We might be able to tell you something about these people. The original group appeared in parades all over the place in Minnesota and Wisconsin, featuring the Ma McPherson. That's Ma on top up there. If you can, you see, Ma's not looking too healthy these days because she's sitting right on top of that outhouse. And they're touring around in that 1914 Model T touring car. But Ma retired, as you can see, in 1968, and her boys took over. So she just sits up there and sort of tells them what to do. Wild River Boys from Webster, Wisconsin.
Now they've taken second place in the Winter Carnival Novelty Award in 1987 and first place.
Apparently they continue with this sort of behavior up in the parade route earlier.
Take a look at the President Award winner. That's pretty, huh?
This one is from 3M. The float is the Magic of Oz. Now if you look closely, you can see the yellow brick road leading into Emerald City. 3 Emerald City.
It's a project of the 3M Club, and as they have done in so many previous years, the employees of 3M built this themselves, spending a good many hours doing it. As you can see, there is a hot air balloon right at the front of the yellow brick road, and then along it are all of the characters.
Well, there's that tornado, or they called it a cyclone in the original thing.
Right.
You're right.
And there is 3M Princess Marilee Bell and her attendants, Amy Richardson and Denise Pilgrim, riding on the 3M float, winner of the President Award.
That cyclone does have a considerable amount of force. It's been spinning that house there for an hour or two. The Royal Guard Drum and Bugle Corps coming up next, representing the Indian Head Council of the Boy Scouts of America, that Explorer Post 885.
Now this group was chosen as the most improved unit in the 1988 North Star Color Guard circuit. I used to win those kind of awards because I had so far to come.
Here's an interesting note. A member of the percussion section, Beth, now how would you pronounce her last name?
Phoebe, I suspect.
Says she is going to be married shortly after today's parade. Our congratulations.
I wonder how shortly she means. If she means today, after today's parade?
I think she does mean today.
I suspect so, yes. here is a beauty designed by Kip Ferris, the professional boat builder from float builder from Denver, who has designed several of the floats. And here's Richard Barbary, our new King Boreas, and Catherine Arco, who is the new Queen of the Snows. Both of them crowned last night. Was a surprise for Catherine Arco, of course. No surprise for Richard Barbary, because that, once again, is one of those honorary positions which you win by working for many years with the organization. He is the president and CEO of Ultimap International of Bloomington.
This is a float that carries the former kings and their queens.
Gordy Schumacher made this float. He has done a lot of floats down through the years. See many familiar faces aboard this float who have, of course, graced the preceding float in previous years. Pretty fancy uniforms they have, huh?
Sure are.
And, of course, most of them outfitted for the more normal kind of weather for the Winter Carnival Parade.
Ted Steichen, 1987.
Now following up behind them, the Park High School Marching Band. This group is sponsored by Tom Thumb. They're located in Cottage Grove, just southeast of St. Paul.
These band members, and there are, well, I would guess maybe 60 or 75 of them, participate in a full music curriculum that includes concert band, pep band, marching band, and jazz ensemble. And I just leave you to guess which one of those we are seeing today. High School band from Cottage Grove.
Oh, now here's something that I've always wanted to know how to do. I had a hard enough time learning how to ride a bicycle.
Now, wait a minute, you're going to deliver a baby in just about 4 weeks. I suggest you don't give it a try just yet.
This is the Twin Cities Unicycle Club. 20 members of the club are performing in this precision group riding and juggling along the parade route today.
I was talking to one of those fellows a little earlier, and you know, sometimes they ride these very high ones. I said, is that particularly more difficult? He said, well, up to a certain point it becomes easier to have a thing. He said it's the difference between balancing a pencil upright on your hand and balancing a broom upright on your hand. But then at a certain point it becomes more difficult, like balancing a telephone pole on your hand.
It becomes even more difficult when you fall off.
Exactly.
Here they are again. Just behind the Unicycle Club. You can't quite see them yet.
Okay. They're back for more, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Athletic Club.
Well, they've got it.
Try it one more time. This parade was just too short for them.
They wanted to get on television one more time.
I think they wanted our cameraman to do it this time. And
that would make an interesting perspective. Whoa.
Of course, a very important part of the mythology of the Winter Carnival is King Boreas of the North Wind, and then his 4 brothers of all of the winds who reign over the Winter Carnival, the North, East, West, South Wind. And this is their float. The various members of the new royal family and their princesses.
Let's see if we can tell you about some of them. The East Wind, Richard McCarthy. South Wind, Mike Wendell. West Wind, Don Craighead. And the North Wind, we don't have a name for the North Wind.
But he is the vice president of Hammernick Paint and Glass.
And it is Mr. Hammernick.
Aha.
Very good.
See, Don is very quick on these things. He hasn't been a newsman for all this time for nothing.
Okay, now we have the princesses.
I thought I had been a newsman all this time for nothing.
I confessed a little earlier. I've been watching these since I was a young lad. And these gnomes, perhaps not the same ones, but gnomes like this have been part of the Winter Carnival Parade for as long as I can remember. I think they are one of the oldest marching groups in the entire Winter Carnival.
I understand they got a new paint job.
What are they exactly? They look
today's.
like the business end of a Dairy Queen.
I made a major mistake one year on the parade coverage and called them drips.
No, you shouldn't have.
And that was, I didn't mean it offensively at all. But they do look like a droplet of water, do they not?
Yes.
Okay, well, you got me out of that one that I've been suffering from for all these many years.
Droplet is better than drip.
Yes, certainly. Well, and of course it is Hilux, so it is a droplet.
Yes,
so
it is.
All right, here comes the Johnson High School Marching Band, sponsored by Ecolab. 75 members in this marching band. They've been a trophy winner in the Paint Arcade Parade for the past 4 years.
One of those special units that we were talking about a little earlier. This is the best thing you could do with your jumper cables on a day like today. Otherwise, they kind of sit useless in the trunk of your automobile.
Right. These youngsters, there are 22 of these youngsters, and they were chosen from 200 people who tried out, and they were judged on how well they jumped rope, their jump roping skills, their enthusiasm, their attitude, their ability to listen and contribute to the group, and their ability to get their parents to drive them here today. I think all of that counted for how they managed to make it. But this is the jumper cable power team from Hale School in Minneapolis.
And in fact, they are winners of the Most Enthusiastic Novelty Participant Award.
And
well
of course,
deserving.
They are sponsored by a very, very familiar organization.
And who might that be?
Well, the initials are WCCO TV, I'll tell you that.
What does that stand for, by the way?
Well, you know what it stood for originally?
Washburn Crosby, didn't it?
Washburn Crosby Company, right.
It used to make a gold medal flour.
Right. And they were the organization which preceded, later to be known as General Mills.
Yes.
Well,
Harl and Lardy.
You said it. Oh, there's... Hopkins Raspberry Festival is one of the very large festivals. There are many around the state, but Hopkins Raspberry Festival is one of them. And a very, very important participant in all things. As a matter of fact, they're very close to the Aquatennial, usually within the same week or two.
And riding on today's float is Queen Amy Nelson and her princesses. Kathy Kuchinka, Princess Jacqueline LaRue. And in front they have the junior queen and kings and princesses and prince.
Notice their waving technique. See, that's the prescribed waving technique from the shoulder. That's what queens are always told. You must wave from the shoulder.
The town I came from had the Raspberry Stain Remover Festival.
A successful one, was it?
Yes. Usually came right after the Raspberry Festival.
This is the Queen's Court Studio of Dance, owned and operated by two former Miss Minnesotas, Charlotte Sims-Aline, Mary Williams-Jasicki. They've been participating for 7 years. And they're not a bit tired after all that time.
Well, they won first place in the Anoka Parade this October, and they have received 2 first-place awards and 2 second-place awards in this winter Carnival Grand Day Parade in years past.
And for $25,000 of the cash call jackpot, if you could name the artist who sang Willie and the Hand Jive, call some telephone number and tell somebody.
You understand that we are virtually, well, not quite at the end of the parade run, but very close to the end of it. So these folks have been doing this for a long while by the time they get to us. And the audience loves it.
They sure do. Okay, here we have the float coming to us from the St. Paul Pioneer Press Dispatch.
You see, there's a right behind that float is a large rolled-up newspaper, which is had to be pulled down now because our microphones, our stereo microphones, are in the way, so they had to pull it down. Then they're going to raise it up again.
Get a shot at Joe Souchere. Look at these guys. Look at these no counts. Charlie Walters. My goodness.
These are all the various columnists from the Pioneer
Nick Coleman.
These are guys who are going to give us all a bad time in the paper tomorrow. The guys who said about me last Aquatennial that I had seen more parades than Old Glory.
And we should tell you that this blimp, I guess, that they're carrying is advertising the Winter Carnival Treasure Hunt. That starts tomorrow. They're going to be giving you clues every day in the newspaper, and if you solve it, you could win up to $4,000.
That's been a traditional part of the Winter Carnival now for quite a number of years, too. Sometimes solved quickly, sometimes it takes a real long while.
Well, they didn't come in softly, but here they are.
Well, I think these are the ex-Vulcans because they are revealing themselves.
Yes,
the current
right.
Vulcans are masked. I haven't seen them. This is the second time around for these fellows. They have the same feeling about the whole business as in the past. Now, here's the Royal Guard.
Right.
These guys are the Vulc Busters, the Vulc Busters.
See, they're trying to get rid of the Vulcans.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy, that Vulcan is somewhat the worse for wear, isn't he? They, of course, they protect King Boreas during the entire Winter Carnival from Vulcan. Now, traditionally, King Boreas has lost the fight by the end. You know, this is a 1952 GMC military troop carrier. It was used in the Korean War, then restored by the Royal Guard members. It took 125 hours for them to restore it. It looks like it's in great condition now. Even though they have been overthrown every year for 103, they seem to retain some kind of enthusiasm for their job, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Okay, now coming up now are the 20 young women who were candidates for the Queen of the Snow contest. They all took part in last night's coronation, and they are the women that you began to meet throughout today's broadcast. We met a few of them early on. Queen of the Snow candidates.
And while the parade has a break, we will take a break as well. We'll be right back for the Grand Day Parade of the St. Paul Winter Carnival.
Grandpa, you can do better than the old-fashioned Quaker Oats.
Who?
Total oatmeal has 10 times the vitamin and mineral nutrition. See, Grandpa, what you thought was in here is really in here. 10 times. 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 10 times.
If it's total oatmeal, it's total nutrition.
And if you're looking for oat bran, all oatmeal is not created equal. One serving of total oatmeal has 10 times the nutrition of old-fashioned Quaker oats. And now, more oat bran, too. Total oatmeal, more oat bran, total nutrition.
At Menards, we've gone stir-crazy with specials on carpeting. Our entire jute-back carpet selection is on sale now. Choose Stain Master carpets with their 5-year stain, 10-year residential wear warranty. Over 150 styles and colors on sale now at $11.99 to $18.99 per square yard. Plus, yard for yard will give you free Twilight carpet cushion with any jute-back purchase. Hurry in to save at Menards.
Helping you build America's heartland at Menards.
Welcome back to the St. Paul Winter Carnival Grand Day Parade. And before we get back to the parade, why don't we meet some more of the candidates for Queen of the Snow? We're going to be meeting some of these women throughout the day as the parade goes on. The young women who participated last night in the competition. And here are a few of those gals.
Hi, my name is Carol Cordes, and my sponsor is Heritage Days of St. Paul Park.
And I'm Lynn Schutze, and I'm sponsored by the Town Center Merchants Association.
Hi, my name is Angela Murray, and I am sponsored by the City of St. Paul Parks and Recreation Department.
And I'm Jody Peterson. I'm sponsored by Bonfils Auto Service and Body Repair.
Hi, I'm Don Shelby, and I'm sponsored by WCCO TV. We're here with Bill Carlson, Colleen Needles, with our continuing coverage of this wonderful, wonderful St. Paul Winter Carnival Grand Day Parade. 103 years, but I don't know exactly what year. Is this the 89th parade, or I would have no idea.
Not exactly sure. You know, this is a great play on the Budweiser team, isn't it?
The Milk Buds.
The Milk Buds. These are ponies, of course, the Schottler family. The ponies' names are Trigger and Bart in the lead, followed by Calico, Molly, Sammy, Ichabod, Oliver, and Corky. And Corky is the father of all the others. He's been very busy. He'll be 19 years old this spring, and he's the only one of the entire group who's never missed a performance since the Schottler group has been in Schottler Dairy Farm.
That was a family resemblance among them.
Right, it was indeed.
Oh, we're going to get a glimpse now of the winner of the Queen of the Snows Award. There it is.
These are the former North Winds. And of course, since the North Wind is called Titan, this is called the Titan float.
This float was built by the employees of American National Bank, and it has been a winner of the King Boreas Award in years past.
See, everybody's leaving their coat open today because they just can't believe the good fortune of everyone other than the ice carvers here today. Right behind the Titan float is the South Winds float, built once again by Kip Ferris of Denver, decorated in a Mexican theme, of course, to reflect, the South, carrying the South Winds of years past.
That's a huge piñata.
And brand new. Ole, ole. They said it 376 times since the parade started. Sponsored by...
There's some many people who are out today to enjoy the parade. Actually, this is just a tiny, tiny fraction of the people that are down here today.
Central High School Marching Band. Now, I would imagine the first assumption would be that was Central St. Paul, and it is not. It is not. It is Central High School representing students from 4 different communities: Cologne, Hamburg, Norwood, and Young America, which, of course, west of the Twin Cities complex. 92 members strong. They are within range of our microphones. Let's listen. The East Winds float. Once again, built by Kip Ferris of Denver. Is this? Yes, I believe. Yes, it is. The East Winds float. These riders are, of course, bearers of past bearers of the East Winds titles. They're princesses, the whole gang. They're cymbal performer. It's a very specialized kind of musical talent, isn't it?
Now this one is sponsored by Stroh's Beer. This was a new float as of last year.
All right, cover your ears because the one coming up is that which we've warned you about, and that's the West Winds, and you can see it's built on the same kind of theme. All Western paraphernalia there. They're firing blanks, but they're loud blanks.
Oh, those are blanks?
I hope
feel
they're
a
blanks.
lot better about
Yes,
that.
I hope they're blanks.
That, of course, is an Arizona desert scene. The eagle. A very familiar fellow.
The bald eagle
in the
right
middle.
Right there. Looks like he's about ready to leave. Enough of this gunfire for me. I'm getting out.
Yes.
Believe it or not, this is the senior citizen royal court with a very hip kind of mode of transportation.
And they're not riding.
Boy.
If you got it, flaunt it.
That's quite some limo.
Now that is the members of the 1988 court who were walking along there beside that enormous limo. The 1989 court's going to be chosen February 1st.
Okay, while we're waiting for the next unit, there's a pause in the parade. Let's meet some more of those Queen candidates.
Hello, my name's Karen Sevilius, and I'm representing Harmon Contract.
And I'm Carrie Berthium. I am representing Galvin's Restaurant.
Hello, I'm Lisa Marie Goslin, and my sponsor is the White Bear Business Association.
And I'm Penny Clark, and my sponsor is Rosedale Square.
They had 1,500 people at a sit-down dinner last night at the St. Paul Civic Center. Steve Kannally among many of the guests there, including queens and princesses and escorts from all over the United States for last night's crowning ceremony. We're going to meet more of the Queen candidates as the parade continues to wind through downtown St. Paul.
I understand that young lady there is not simply an unkempt young lady. She has had a run-in with Vulcan.
She has seen Vulcan, and I presume up close.
The synchronized snowball, sponsored by WCCO TV and Stage Door. You can't be too serious about a group called Synchronized Snowballs. That's fun, if I ever heard of it. They're down the street a little ways, but they're they're a group of such enormous impact that, as you can see, they require 4 signs preceding them.
This person's listening to you, Bill. Oh, there, he just came awake suddenly.
Now there are about 100.
That's the
there
long
you can
view.
see them. 100 dancers presenting a routine that keeps 200 snowballs. I wonder if they're going to melt. Bouncing, moving, and dancing in patterns. They won a lot of awards, this group.
Yes, they did. They are accompanied, of course, by that ever-present van with the recorded sound behind them. They're putting on a show for folks about half a block down from us right now. What's in the bag? Whatever it is, it tastes good. Yes, wave, Dad says, but she's too busy eating popcorn or whatever.
Oop, that one looks familiar to me in the blue.
Ooh, I think she belongs to you.
Might have been a Shelby.
That
Who
was
knows?
Lacey. Here they come.
The snowballs seem to be still in good shape somehow.
You wouldn't believe this, but those things weigh 48 pounds apiece. And they're made out of solid steel, and they're painted white. And these are the strongest women in America.
It is the only time during the year where you are not allowed to believe Don Shelby.
Well, this is the nature of this
Can't imagine the strength it takes not only to carry but to bounce those solid steel snowballs. It's
exactly right. You know, you were talking a moment ago about how cold it was in Alaska. We were hearing reports that it being 75, 80 degrees below zero, what happens is that air compacts so tight, and seeing the balls remind me of this, that tires on cars become literally flat on one side. So we've got something to be thankful for, because if it was that cold here, as some people would like it to be, they wouldn't be bouncing those balls. They would bounce and break.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you. Well, it's Mr. Wizard time at the parade.
Stay tuned, folks. We have a 5-part series.
All right. Well, coming up right now, though, is the Prime Minister Award. And this is the float brought to us by Ecolab.
The Kemlon Castle is what you're seeing. You can see the drawbridge in front of it here. Vikings are guarding the castle. 2 line Vikings are caring for the castle lawn, which Kemlon folks obviously would do, even in midwinter. So you can see the castle lawn is very green out front, even though there are snowdrifts around the side of it. Interesting.
And some employees of Ecolab are providing candy all along the parade route. This is a new float this year. Winner of the Prime Minister.
Goodness, that was a lifesaver they threw up.
They're located in downtown St. Paul.
The Windy Ridge Riders drill team. Say that 3 times real fast, Don.
No. Not on live television.
Diverse breeds and colors. They're Arabians, thoroughbreds, quarter horses, Appaloosas, saddlebreds, pintos, palominos, all of them working together in a massive ecumenical effort with the Windy Ridge Riders drill team.
And it's not only the Ridge Riders that are windy today, folks.
The owner and instructor of the Windy Ridge Ranch in Woodbury is Mark Ward, and he's leading the troop.
Speaking of wind, it seems to be picking up a bit here.
Yes, it is.
Over on the left-hand side of your screen, you see Chocolate Mousse. Well, I guess, yes, the Valley Fair bus. Oh, there's Mr. Umpapa, Colonel Umpapa, to those who know him well.
John Phillip.
They're from
John
Valley
Phillip
Fair.
Umpapa, yes. Well, I didn't know him that well. That's why I referred to him as Colonel. You know.
We call
sign of respect.
We call him JP out at our house.
Incidentally, out at Valley Fair, they have the Excalibur, which many of you may. My goodness, look at that man is wearing shorts. I would not. I don't think I'd care to walk in front of a bus driven by a man wearing shorts in this kind of weather.
Hawaiian shirt. I'm not sure.
I was referring to Excalibur. It's a roller coaster, you know, and they say it has the steepest drop of any roller coaster in the world.
Ooh, I don't think my stomach isn't made for those sorts of things.
See those beautiful animals in the back there? Those are borozois. They're called Russian wolfhounds. You know,
they're gorgeous.
Russian wolfhounds were taught to capture wolves and hold the wolf until the huntsman arrived. Not do anything, capture him and hold him. I know the first borozoi that was told to do that said, right,
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. You just hold the wolf. I'll be right there. The check's in the mail.
A national visiting royalty aboard this float. We have quite a few of them here.
From the Austin Aqua Festival in Austin, Texas, are the Princess and Festival Commodore. We also have visitors from the Cherry Festival in Traverse City, Michigan.
From the DeSoto celebration in Bradenton, Florida, Hernando de Soto, Tyrone Shin. Hernando means brother, by the way. And Queen Janet Clayton.
Usually, even though they come from Florida, they usually are very prepared for our weather, perhaps today over-prepared.
Right.
No.
And right behind them, the Rice Lake High School Warrior Marching Chiefs. Coming to us from Rice Lake, Wisconsin. 150 members in this band. Now we understand this band has played during both the Vikings and Packers halftime festivities. cheer for.
You know, this kind of weather is a blessing for brass players because usually they have to use plastic mouthpieces to keep their lips from sticking to the brass mouthpieces. A day like today helps a lot.
We interrupt this program.
These are the Winnipeg Voyagers.
This is a traditional, this is their version of arm wrestling.
Yes, this is the traditional greeting of the Voyagers. We have not seen each other for several months.
That's arm wrestling for folks who don't know up from down, you see.
Right behind them, of course, is the City of Winnipeg float.
They just tossed us a button that says, I'm invited to the 20th Festival du Voyageur, February 10th through 19th, 1989 at Winnipeg, Manitoba. And of course, they've traditionally been our good neighbors to the north and very much involved in all kinds of activities in the Twin City area.
And this year, winner of the East Wind. Was that what we saw, Ward?
That's a very attractive float, isn't it? On the float is a football player, a hockey player, a ballet dancer, and one other.
A fisherman.
Oh, fisherman, that's what the other.
Interesting side note is that the people who volunteer to be spray painted gold like that get a free trip to St. Paul and a week on the town.
Okay, and here come our friends from W-Light, FM 103, WLTE.
Our very own sister station. Let's see who we can see on board here. Orly Dunson, Kelly Ryan. Let's see, is Glenn Olson there, I think. Beth Kidd. Paul Geiger of the Saturday Evening Cruise, Ann Morgan. And family members included. Look at that team. Isn't that a great team?
Those are Clydes, aren't they?
Oh, they sure are. Beautiful. 6 of them.
Look at those beautifully feathered lower legs. That wagon is handcrafted, I understand. Little Miss Payne Avenue float.
Erica Hoffman and her princesses. Kim Gatsky, Stephanie Rickey, Christina.
There's Erica, look at that.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Christina Orsello and Melissa Cook. And they're guarded, if you can see on the sides there, by 2 toy soldiers.
She's still amazed at the whole thing. I don't blame her. That's quite an honor for a youngster at that age.
They have their white fur hats and muffs on.
See, there are the soldiers on the side. Yep. St. Paul Clown Club, another traditional organization with the St. Paul Winter Carnival. The Clown Club has been a participant for as long as I can remember in the St. Paul Winter Carnival, and they started, the St. Paul Clown Club did, as a kind of a Winter Carnival adjunct organization, and then became so successful that they, similar to the Shrine Clown Club and others, operate year-round, doing special hospital appearances and special appearances at organizations all around the Minnesota area. She's going to wave with both hands.
Yeah.
Whoops. His house of cards is about to collapse.
Look at this one.
When you're built that close to the ground, you shiver even in this weather, I guess.
Slow going for that guy in today's
Ooh, that's a
parade.
house of cards.
He's not going to keep up with you no matter how many times you give him a little help. Aha. Look who is following the St. Paul Clown Club. Our friend Steve Kannally with his 6 guns blazing, coming in from Dallas.
Ray Krebs from the TV show Dallas.
And of course becoming very, very familiar to folks in the Twin City area now as a spokesman.
For Cub Foods.
He's made several appearances here already for Cub Foods, and will make a few more before leaving. Says he likes the association.
And as he told us earlier, he was looking forward to coming to Minnesota, coming from Los Angeles. He was anxious to kind of get a taste of our winter wonderland here. We didn't quite have the sub-zero temperatures he was expecting, but I think he's
a
fine with
neighbor
that.
in California, incidentally, to Nancy and I. Here's the junior royalty from St. Paul Parks and Recreation. That junior royalty is involved every year, and of course there are approximately 40 booster clubs that help these folks along. Let's see, this year King Frost is Eric Addison. You saw him just a moment ago. And the Queen of the Snowflakes, Candy Velasquez.
See, Eric is from Highland Park High School and Candy is from Hardy High School. Okay, here's a group we heard about a little earlier. Don was telling us about them. They're another group sponsored by WCCO Television. They are the Precision Plowing Drill Team. You might recognize them. They are the Precision Lawnmower Squadron in the Hotcha Summer Parade. Well, they've made a few adaptations to their lawnmowers.
Yeah, they call them snowblowers, but it's not the kind of snowblower I'm used to. They just put it's a multi-season kind of operation. They have taken their lawnmowers and just put a snow shovel on them.
Here goes one of their drills now. I think we should pay some serious attention here.
Yes, the precision will amaze you. I know it startled me.
Takes a lot of practice, folks.
That was the act like a chicken, circle the snowblower lawnmower routine.
Well, not only have they adapted their lawnmowers, they've also adapted their attire. You know, the Hawaiian shirts and shorts they wear in the summer. They've got those on, but they've put some long underwear on underneath them. That's all they need.
And you have to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of people would come up with an idea like that?
From Pea Soup Days in Somerset, Wisconsin. Here, let me see. This must be Queen Tracy Deal, I suspect.
And along with her on that float, Miss Apple River, Jill Milkey, Miss Alouette, Jane Amundsen, and junior princesses Nanette Liberty and Wendy Swanson. And our apologies, I'm sure I am mispronouncing many a name today.
Wouldn't that be a great name to grow up with? Nanette Liberty. So it sounds like it was devised to be put onto a marquee.
Yes, that's right. We're expecting to see the Baldwin Woodville Marching Blackhawks in their 17th consecutive appearance here in the Grand Day Parade. They've won big here several times. They've been in the top 4 award categories 14 of those 17 appearances.
Of course, from Baldwin, Wisconsin. This young fellow's saying, okay, show me what you can do, Baldwin Woodville Band. I'm listening. And so are we, incidentally. Now this is not in the parade order. These fellas just come and go as they please, when they please, where they please.
Watch out for these guys.
They're trying to break up the whole reign at King Boreas, and usually every year they have been remarkably successful. Usually it takes them about a week to do it, however.
Of course, we're talking about the Vulcans.
Did you notice that sign right behind the Vulcans there? It just said, "We love a parade." And folks do. See, he's trying to get some support right now as a rump movement against King Boreas.
Well, they're winning the battle right now. The Vulcan's crew is definitely winning right now against the forces of King Boreas because it is very, very warm out here for a winter day in St. Paul.
And here we have a float that is commemorating the Chippewa Fall Pure Water Days. Of course, we all know Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin is known for having the purest water. Did you know it's the purest water in the world?
That's what they say.
It's true.
And the blue and silver and red float that you see before you commemorates their festival, which takes place late summer, August 19th and 20th in this particular case. Queen Holly Lemke aboard there. You know, as I saw that that band go by a few moments ago, it reminded me that a couple of years ago we only had 1 or 2 bands in the whole parade because high schools traditionally didn't have uniforms that would stand up to our weather. And I said, well, this calls for some community involvement. Several businessmen's organizations came to the rescue. And now we have a lot of bands once again. Nice to hear.
Terrific.
The Military Grand Marshal B.G. Eugene and R. Andreotti. Aboard, Mr. Eugene Andreotti is from the Department of Military Affairs at the state of Minnesota. He's riding in that 1933 International Fire Truck.
He's Brigadier General of the National Guard for the state of Minnesota. Highest ranking military officer in the state.
And there we see the Domino Pizza, the sponsor of the Winter Carnival Sleigh and Cutter Parade, which takes place next weekend at Como Park.
From North Hudson, the magical Winter Kingdom, King Joe and Queen Heidi on their Pepper Tree chairlift. They're just ready to do a little skiing or sliding, or well, exactly. The folks in front of them are already sliding.
We celebrate that Pepperfest every year at Hudson in the summer, I think.
Ah, there she is, Klondike Kate.
She is the queen of the Vulcans. Somehow she got separated from them just a bit, but she can handle herself all by herself on her own.
Steve Kannally told us that he had a very, very nice dance with Kate, and that Kate sang to him throughout the entire dance.
And
we know her identity, don't we?
Cindy Jones. She is from Chaska.
Did you know that she's the Vulcans queen?
Yeah, right. Western Saddle Club Association. Here are their representatives, the royal court of that organization. Queen Martha Ortenblad, Michelle Smedberg, Debbie Hill, Sue Baumstrew, and Bev Taylor. Once again, there's an attractive lady. Once again, the club is open to all breeds of horses. It's interesting to watch. You can always tell which horses are sheltered indoors and which outdoors during the winter because you can see that heavy coat that the horses that are sheltered outdoors. That V on his cheek means Veronica, his girlfriend, I believe. No, it means Vulcan, of course.
It's just what horses mind their mothers when you go outside and put a heavy coat on.
Yeah.
Right. Some more of the candidates for Queen of the Snows.
Hi, I'm Marla Brelge, and I'm sponsored by the Barbers and the Cost Cutters.
And I'm Kathleen Cluck, and I'm sponsored by North End Machine.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Jessen, and I'm sponsored by Roadrunner Transportation. And my name is Catherine Arco, and I'm sponsored by Edina Realty.
That's just allowing you to get a closer look at some of our Queen candidates. You saw them riding in the parade a little earlier, but we wanted you to see each of them. From the Minneapolis Aquatennial, here is their float from the Friends Across the River. Riding the float, the Queen of the Lakes, Barbara Stockdill. Aquatennial Princesses, Lori Kufner and Diane Vogley. It's quite an organization. And we, incidentally, in case you are wondering, Don Shelby, Colleen Needles, and Bill Carlson reporting the 1989 Grand Day Parade at the St. Paul Winter Carnival for you.
They're cheering summer.
If the weather continues like this, they're going to have to move up the date of the aquatennial.
I think so.
They're just wearing their jackets here. I suspect they're a little better prepared underneath those jackets, however.
Do you see the little ones on the front there? They've been doing that for a long time today down this parade route. Okay, and here from Walker Methodist Nursing Home.
Civic Award winner.
This is the Aquatennial Senior Royalty. Queen Evelyn Young. And the king's name, I am very, very sorry, I don't have it here.
Now that float features a colorful rainbow with the mythical pot of gold, of course, at the end.
We're going to be back to finish up the parade for you. Don't go away right after these messages.
I was in Phoenix. I had to give a speech. While I was working on my speech in the hotel room, I started coughing. So I called down and the front desk sent up some cough syrup.
Not all cough medicines work the same.
This stuff was for kids. It wasn't for me. Then I sent down for something stronger, and they sent up Vicks 44.
Today's Formula 44 is effective as codeine, but non-narcotic. It starts to work the instant you swallow.
That Vicks Formula 44 kicked that cough.
Vicks Formula 44, so effective it starts working the instant you swallow.
I don't want to cough again, but if I do, I'm taking it.
January 1st, Sun Valley Waterbed's New Year's Day sale postpones bowl games. January 2nd, the sale is extended, leaving stadiums empty. Now, the sale returns with 1989's lowest prices and no payments until April. Everything in stock is on sale with savings up to 50%, including soft-sided waterbeds, oak beds, and bookcase beds. Plus, save on sheets, comforters, and bedroom furniture. Sun Valley Waterbed's New Year's Day sale returns this weekend. Imagine what this would have done to the Super Bowl.
Several members of various labor organizations in the Twin Cities.
And we want to welcome you back to the St. Paul Winter Carnival Grand Day Parade. Here we have the labor, many of the labor workers.
Organized labor in St. Paul. They've played a very active role. You know, there are many youngsters here. I just saw one saying, "My dad is a union carpenter," and that's the kind of signs they're carrying.
A lot of people from the AFL-CIO, a lot of people from IBEW, National Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, OCAW.
United Auto Workers coming up behind them.
With other members of IBEW shooting their pictures.
Exactly.
OCAW, that's Oil, Chemical, and Atomic Workers. Oh, and just threw some candy.
They're throwing candy. We're going to take a moment now to meet some more of the young women candidates, queen candidates. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Shelly Phillips, and I'm proud to say that I'm sponsored by the Highland Bank.
And I'm Mary Kay Corbo, and I'm sponsored by the Children's Country Day Schools.
Hi, I'm Kim Robinson, and I'm sponsored by Yvonne's Cleaning Service.
I'm Catherine Meyer, and I'm sponsored by Buttonworks.
We're back here again after meeting those beautiful young ladies, all of them candidates for Queen of the Snows. More representatives of St. Paul's union organization, Organized Labor, several different organizations. Some postal workers right in front of us there. Letter carriers and others. As a matter of fact, there's one who appears right now with her leather pouch over her shoulder to deliver us a couple of postcards right here.
Here's some people who didn't have to get into training to walk this route.
That's right. They're used to this.
Neither snow nor rain nor beautiful weather will keep them from their appointed route. Painters and tapers, they say.
Yeah, and here's a fella. You can see the tall one in the background. Those are actually, for those people who don't know, but anybody who's ever dealt with painters and tapers will realize the fella up on what appears to be stilts are actually stands that they strap onto their lower legs and feet so that they can tape ceilings and so that they can plaster ceilings and paint them.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and they can walk around without moving their ladders. So it's ladders on the end of each foot.
As you can see, he is very, very used to this. He kind of strolls casually around as if He probably spends more time that way than any other. Now, the Court Chamberlain Award winner. This particular float from Blaine.
And riding on the float today is Miss Blaine, Rhonda Smithwick, along with her Royal Court. And the float is patterned after, you can see a very familiar symbol there, the Olympic Training Center. There she is.
And of course, the
Miss
reason
Blaine.
it is has that pattern because Blaine is the site of the Olympic Training Center. The red, white, blue colors of the float.
State A high school boys football champions, Blaine.
See, lots of people of every ilk enjoy this this parade.
And coming up right behind them, the Richfield High School Marching Spartans. They are sponsored by Independent Optical Professionals. Ooh, they recently added some flash to their unit. The color guard is now dressed, if you could see them just a few minutes ago. Black uniforms with red and white sequins. Boy, they've been all over the place. SeaWorld, Disney World, and Epcot Center.
Right behind the Richfield marching band, the Minnesota unicycle team. Now, we've seen one group of unicyclists come by. This is another team that is more involved in precision unicycling.
Whoops. Oh, look at that.
How do you do that? That can't be done.
No, he leapt off his unicycle, which was left on this. Oh, somebody picked it up. That's the unicycle retriever there. Now watch how he gets back down.
Very carefully.
Yeah, I can show you how I can get back down. I'd have been back down a long time ago.
Let's see who we have here. My order says a hay wagon. This is not, definitely,
no,
repeat, not a hay wagon.
I think this is the women's division of the Winter Carnival. Absent the hay wagon.
Beverly Ryan, the president of the women's division.
Aha.
There she is.
It really is constantly surprising to me, having seen so many of these, to see people so casually dressed today.
Now, we understand that this organization of women chaperones the Queen candidates and visiting Queen royalty, and they assist with the button and souvenir sales throughout St. Paul. They also coordinate the Royal Fair
from the University.
He'll be back.
You're beckoning the man. Discover me, she called.
Best actress.
It ain't.
Return to Treasure Island. Balls and tinsel.
On spec. Years ago, this gold medal in the 52.
Pepsi.
Terry, isn't that neat?
Lemon and his abs.
Ghost bikinis and Indianapolis Jones.
They. Give us a call. And
New players at the arms. Old agreement.
So
He's taking off.
Descramble.
are you okay?
What's wrong with you? Helen? Helen, look, I'm sorry if I said anything to...
Don't you know what's going on here?
I guess not.
How could you be?
What are you talking about?
Please go away.
No! I want to know what the hell is going on here.
You realized why he's waited until now to come get that money. And Never mind.
No, I want to know why.
She's ready to leave you, Jeffrey. Don't you know that? I think she's ready to leave you now. But I could pretend it didn't exist as long as I knew it wasn't serious. But now...
Lexa and Morley?
Oh, who the hell do you think? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be shouting at you.
This is crazy. I mean, why do you even think this, Helen?
Because he's finally found someone to share it with, someone he thinks he can have a future with. They're going to get it now. When you're with him tonight, you see, it won't be there.
Don't buy any of this.
There are things I know. Please, believe me.
Like what?
When your father's body was taken from the boat, all the navigation charts were missing, weren't they? All except the one Morley never found. It wasn't a suicide. Jason would never have killed himself. Not then. I don't have proof yet. But we can get it. We can stop him, Jeff. I've thought about this for such a long time. If we're together, he can't hurt us.
Absolute insanity. And I am not going to listen to anyone.
Radio personalities.
Tim Russell holding his own sign. Eric Escala. There's Steve Ink. Cannon.
Steve Cannon. There's Dr. Michael Lunch next to Steve.
They look like they're having a good time.
Incidentally, that sleigh, and it is a sleigh, folks, it is running on runners, no wheels there, right down the middle of this road. It was built in 1901 by the driver's father. Lee Schutz is the driver.
And here we see the float from the city of Columbia Heights. Now the song America the Beautiful is played out on this float.
Miss Columbia Heights is Kathy McCain. She's riding there with her royalty. That float, you know, has won 17 awards in the past couple of years.
Now the blue in that float is said to represent the rivers and lakes, purple for the majestic mountains, white for patriotism, and the eagle's wings for our nation's freedom.
Direct from the city of Washington, D.C. Now, it says Rudy Boschwitz on that car, but you know Rudy doesn't ride in a car ever.
No, read his book.
In fact, there he is.
There he is.
Walk.
Walking behind the car.
Then why have a car?
Just in case.
I see.
It's a classic Thunderbird. There are a lot of those classic Thunderbirds in the parade today. Beautiful automobiles.
Now, I'm going to guess, is that a 56 or 57?
I'm not good at that.
I never know how people can do that.
There's the sports grand marshal. Now tell me, how does the senator walk the entire parade route and the sports grand marshal rides the entire?
And he is, of course, Alfred Anderson, the Vikings running back. Riding with him, his wife. How do you pronounce her name? Monica?
Yes, indeed.
And 3-year-old Alfred Jr.
See that big smile that Alfred has given us? You know how much bigger that smile is going to be next year after the Vikings win the Super Bowl?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Here's your Shaggy Dog story, Colleen, right?
That's right.
Shaggy Dog with a bandana. Lots of them.
These could be my favorite dogs.
I
think
Newfoundlands. Fabulous.
Yes. Look at the puppy. Do you
What
see
are
the
they
puppy? I wish we'd get a shot.
Oh,
at
yeah,
that.
there's
right in front. I don't know if we'll be able to